Hi and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. According to Dr. Valerie Young, there are 5 different ways imposter syndrome can show up. There's the superhuman, the expert, the soloist, the perfectionist, and the natural genius. In this video, I'm talking about the perfectionist. People who suffer with imposter syndrome all have the same or similar internal dialogue going on. They feel like a fraud, like they don't deserve to be where they are, and they're going to be found out at any given moment for being the fraud that they believe themselves to be. Any success they do recognise, they put down to luck, being in the right place at the right time, or having the right people around them. Big feelings of inadequacy and a fear of failure quite often lead to self-sabotaging behaviours. I'm Churchill, and I'm on a mission to help career women go from self-doubt to self-confidence so they can take their career to the next level. None of us is bulletproof, it seems, to self-doubt and imposter syndrome, but there are lots of tips, tricks and strategies that we can learn to help along the way. I've been studying these tips and tricks for over 10 years, and the more I grow, the more I'm able to help other women to do the same. I release a new video every week, so if you don't want to miss out, hit that subscribe button down below and you'll get a notification every time there's a new one. Perfectionism and imposter syndrome go hand in hand. The perfectionist, as the name implies, feels the need to be and appear to be perfect at everything they do. We live in a world where there's huge pressure on us, especially as women, to have perfect children, a perfect career, a perfect home, a perfect relationship, perfect friendships. A perfectionist then will set themselves goals in all of these areas, mainly unachievable goals, and then they'll have crushing disappointment and even shame when they don't reach those goals. This means a perfectionist can never be satisfied with what's going on in life because they always focus on the mistakes and what went wrong rather than on the successes and what went right. Is there a little bit of perfectionist in you? Take the Do You Have Imposter Syndrome quiz to find out. I put this quiz together because imposter syndrome shows up in so many different ways, and I think it's really important for you to be able to recognise if you've got healthy self-doubt going on or if there is actually some imposter syndrome which could be leading to self-sabotaging behaviours. Click the button below this video and you can go straight to the quiz and find out for yourself. If you are a perfectionist type, you might also go the other way and actually not go for something because you don't think you'll be 100% good at it. That might be a promotion, a project, maybe even trying a new sport. Because you don't believe you'll be 100% at it from the get-go, it might prevent you from actually starting. A perfectionist might also not speak up in a meeting for fear of saying the wrong thing. Another trait you might recognise as a perfectionist is not being able to move on through a process because you don't feel like you've 100% nailed the step you're in. That can lead to procrastination and not moving on, but also can lead you to stop finishing a step because you're nervous of the feedback that you're going to get back afterwards or the reaction that you're going to get from it. Signs you might be a perfectionist then are that you might have an all or nothing mentality, as in almost perfect isn't a thing. You might struggle to delegate, needing to keep everything in your own control. You might have been labelled as a micromanager, and you'll focus on what went wrong a lot more than you'll focus on what went right. Overcoming this type of imposter syndrome involves owning your own successes and your own wins and celebrating them for what they are. It's really important that you look back at how far you've come and how much you've achieved, rather than looking forwards at that ultimate goal, which is your perfectionism, which is a little bit like trying to get to the end of a rainbow. Here are 3 things you can do to overcome the perfectionism in you. Number 1, learn to take mistakes in your stride. They're a natural part of the process. They're vital for improvement. Number 2, push yourself to act before you feel ready. Force yourself to start whatever it is that you've been putting off. If it helps, use the phrase, start where you are. And number 3, remember you're never going to achieve those unattainable goals 100% of the time. Maybe learn to rephrase perfect to it's good enough, or even enough. Enough is enough. What's your type? Are you a perfectionist? Take the Do You Have Imposter Syndrome quiz to find out. As I said, I put this quiz together because imposter syndrome shows up in so many different ways, and I think it's really, really important for you to be able to recognise if you've got healthy self-doubt going on, or if there is in fact some imposter syndrome that could be unhealthy, could be causing self-sabotaging behaviours. Once you recognise imposter syndrome in yourself, it's the first step to overcoming it. So go ahead, click the button and take the quiz. As ever, I appreciate your feedback. It helps me to create the content you're looking for, and it helps other people to find my stuff as well. So any comments, little thumbs up down below, much appreciated. If you've got questions, pop them in there. Any results from the quiz, I would be more than interested. And in the meantime, you have a fantastic week.